Hello, Red Wave. Welcome to Beware of Bulldogs, the show where the Calebs talk Fresno State sports. We're your hosts, Caleb Nail. That's Caleb Pletz. Mr. Pletz, how are you today on this fine Monday afternoon, or I should say evening?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Had a great weekend, just hanging out with my son, so that's cool. Fresno State baseball is letting us down a little bit, but cool, like memorabilia wise, I picked up a Jerry Tarkanian signed basketball, courtesy of my in-laws. They just had two laying around, so they said, "Here, do you want one?" So that's kind of cool. That's gonna go
right there.
That's it right there on the bed. So eventually it'll be up on the wall somewhere up there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Jerry Tarkanian signed basketball. You're gonna have to bring it to the basketball games now and get it. There's plenty of room for autographs on that thing. You're gonna have to get more, man. We got a fun show today. Not a whole lot to talk about because, well, as you probably know, graduations are going on. So the end of the school season is coming to a close. The sports season is coming to a close. So we're going to talk baseball today. We got baseball, and then I was very late on getting out the mailbag question and the mailbag to you guys. But we have a couple mailbag questions, and you could still throw them in there. There's still time. We're going to save it for the end of the show. That's on Instagram, Beware Bulldogs Podcast. Yes, I did put it up there. And on Twitter at Beware_Bulldogs. You can follow us there, hit the notification bells. Do the same on YouTube if you're tuning in over on YouTube on Tuesday. We see the internet just looks really bad, so I'm taking my time. We are the latest we've ever been tonight, 7:30, but we try to be around 7 o'clock. So hit the notification bell on YouTube, subscribe, comment down below. It really helps us out. And comment when you get in the chat. I see Bulldogs Bob is here. Good evening, Bob. It's good to see you. And start shooting stuff our way, because otherwise we're just going to talk baseball, and then we'll get into our mailbag. So, Kib, let's talk baseball. Let's jump right into it. Let's not waste any more time. Very interesting end of the season, you could say, for end of the regular season. Let me put it that way. For the Bulldogs, 4-17 in the last 21 games. Finished in fourth place. We were in first about the majority of the regular season. We finished in fourth. We went 1-2 against Air Force. Or no, did we get swept?
You got swept.
Yeah. San Diego State beat Nevada, who helped us out. Because of Nevada's loss, we got in. And we got the 4 seed. How the bracket looks, we will be playing Air Force again, 1v4 in the first round, the first matchup of the Mountain West Championship. So there's a lot that's going to be happening later on in the week. Caleb, we got to talk about. We're going to talk about the regular season in general, but I want to ask you specifically about the series against Air Force first. Talk to me about that. Talk me through it, because there was a lot being said on social media from the Red Wave about how this season ended. But talk me through this series.
Yeah, interesting way to end the regular season here, where the Dogs controlled their own destiny, and if they had won one game, they would have secured their position. Like you mentioned, got some help from San Diego State to secure their spot in the postseason, but could have been a lot easier and done it on their own without needing help. But ended up getting swept. I think the Thursday game was promising. Jake Dixon had a pretty good performance. I mean, he went. Hang on, let me get the box score up. I mean, he went 6 innings, only gave up 2 runs, and compared to the last couple of starts, I mean that's a much better bounce back for Dixon. So, I mean, that was encouraging to see. But I mean, on the other side of the plate, I mean, the bats were just quiet. I mean, the only offense on the day was a solo home run from Tyler Davis, who he actually had a nice weekend. He hit another 3-run bomb on that Friday's game. So yeah, just kind of frustrating. It's like the Dogs can't put it together with having good pitching and good offense on the same day lately. So tough loss, 3-1 there, with a pitching performance, with only giving up 3 runs at Air Force. That should be enough to get it done. But credit to Air Force's pitcher. Yeah, he's really been pretty strong this season. So Friday game. Man, that was crazy. I mean, way back and forth. I mean, and big. I mean, Dogs scoring 4 runs, 7-run inning, and coming back late to go ahead. So it was just a very wild game. Very fun to watch it work, though. So I mean, that was, I guess, one of the nice things about this series is the games first pitches were at noon on a Thursday and Friday. So I'm like, perfect. We can watch this at work. So that was kind of fun to have that, but. I mean, rough outing for Noah Beal. Only went 2 innings and gave up 4. Jack Anchor we saw come in relief, so that was kind of interesting to see Ovi go to him on game 2, maybe saying, "Hey, we need to get a win here. Let's go to a guy who's done well for us this season." And Anchor struggled too. I mean, he gave up several home runs. I mean, it was pretty remarkable how. I mean, the Dogs gave up 5. Homers on the Friday game. So really tough back and forth. Offense came alive though. So it's really tough. When the offense is putting up 13 runs, the pitching staff is giving up 14. So just can't seem to put it together.
So it's hard. It's hard to watch sometimes. You keeping up. We look good at the plate, and then the next day we go cold. It's bad. It's bad. The inconsistency is not good for us, especially heading into Mountain West Championship.
I agree. So, I mean, that Friday game was good for stats for a lot of the guys. I mean, Grady Morgan had a huge game, 5 RBIs. I think he hit 2 bombs. He got a warning for a kind of taunting towards the end of the game because he hit a monster home run. I think either tied it or put the Dogs up. So, fun game to watch if you like offense and you don't like good pitching. But yeah, disappointing that the Dogs ended up giving it up late because it was really back and forth. It kind of looked like the momentum had swung back in the Dogs' favor. And then credit to Air Force. I mean, they have some really good hitting and experienced team that they're just really tough to go up against, especially at their home place where baseball is just different up there. Over 7,000 square feet above sea level. So very crazy. Saturday, I'll be honest, I didn't watch Saturday. Glad I didn't. I ended up getting mercy ruled with Air Force putting up 7 in the 7th inning to end it. So Dogs go down 11-1, and just a tough game. There was a lightning delay in there. So, I mean, all things considered, Jake Riding, a decent performance with 5 innings, gave up 3 runs. So, they get that as a start at Air Force. Not terrible. The offense should be able to keep up to, but credit to Air Force. They played well and they slammed us that game. So disappointing way to end the regular season, but we get it. We get another crack at Air Force this Thursday. So there's really no excuses now because playing neutral field, not at crazy elevation, and the Dogs have plenty of scouting on this team, so they should know how to pitch the opposing hitters, and they should be able to figure out the Air Force pitching too.
Yeah, tell me what you think. I don't want to. You just kind of told me what you think we should do, and that our expectations. But I'm going to switch my internet really quick to try to see if I can get a little bit better. So if I get thrown out, sorry, I'll rejoin. But what do you want to see from the Dogs against Air Force?
Boy, okay. So it's postseason play. I think it has to start with the senior pitchers, the experienced guys. So we know Jake Dixon, excuse me, Jake Dixon's going to get a start, and Noah Bill's going to get a start. So the two senior guys, like that, could be their final outing as a collegiate pitcher. So how are they going to respond in that pressure situation? So I'd love to see both of those guys go and pitch their hearts out and really leave it all on the field. Leave no doubt on their college career, and hopefully Dogs pull it out and can get to maybe a regional. That's looking way too far ahead though. So I'd say it has to start on the mound, and the pitchers need to start and give the offense a chance to keep up, because the offense has been so up and down so far this season that we just need a strong start from Dixon and then Beal, because the Dogs are guaranteed 2 games here. So I think it's got to start with the pitching though. So it looks like we lost Nail. So the G5 Wi-Fi. Oh, he's back. All right, hang on. Let me get him back here. He's back. All right. Let's just pop over to the chat real quick. Bob, we've not had a chance to talk to any of the players yet. So hopefully we will get a chance to talk to some of the guys here soon. It's nice of San Diego State to be parking our cars this weekend and not participating in the thing. That's a funny comment from Bob. He also makes a comment about Paul Loeffler being I guess too complimentary toward Air Force and some of the players there this weekend. So I don't know. Do you have a comment on that? I didn't really notice it. I mean, I noticed that he's complimentary and he has respect for our country and the armed forces. And so I kind of felt like that's where that was. But I don't know. Do you have any feelings about the announcers being too complimentary toward our opponent?
No, I think you have to. Now, I know he is the voice of the Bulldogs, but at the same time, like, you kind of have to, I don't want to say hide your biases, but I get it. I have no problem with it. It's fine. But I can see why Fresno State fans would be annoyed. Like, Bob, there's no reason, and I think the main reason that Bob and people like me and other people in the Red Wave would be annoyed is that we started so strong in the beginning of the season. We had high expectations mid-season because we know how good this team can be, and we've slowly been it's been death by 1,000 cuts, man. It's this back half of the season. It's been awful. And so when we hear other teams that we should be beating, and when we hear radio announcers talk like that about those teams, it can get frustrating for me and people like Bob. So I get that. I get both sides of it. I think as diehards, if I was a broadcaster, I wouldn't be saying anything like that.
I think if it was any other conference opponent besides
any of ours,
right? I think if it was any other conference opponent besides the Air Force, I think I would take offense to it. But I mean, considering these men are committing their lives of service to our country and to defend civilians, I think we can have a little extra appreciation for what they do. So, all right, that's enough talk about the Air Force series. There's been a lot of chatter online about how the back half of the season finished up for the Dogs. So we have a special guest we're going to bring on, our friend Jake from Hir.Die. Jake, I can mute you here if you get too out of line here. So just remember, we are in control. But we appreciate you coming here because we know that there's been a lot of chatter and some people being critical of the team and specifically the coaching staff, so Ryan Overland, which I think is probably unfair. I think we all probably agree about that. But the vocal minority is going to be loud, and they're questioning whether this is a coaching problem or is this just the players not executing. So I'm just gonna let you roll with this because you have some takes here, and let it rip.
Am I supposed to be able to see you guys? Because I can't.
For some
see
reason,
you.
that has been happening. Our guests have not been able to see us. I don't know why.
You can't see me, can you? Can you?
We sure can.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You have to probably ask me a direct question. Is it coaching? Is it not executing?
All right, I'll re-tee it up for you, Jake. Is the coaching staff and specifically head coach Ryan Overland to blame for the 4-17 finish?
I mean, he's going to. I mean, that's the head coach's job. Most head coaches always take responsibility for losses, and Ovi's no different. He's been there before. But I lean towards the lack of execution amongst other things. Like, again, nobody was saying anything when they were 25 and 9.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, he was the greatest coach in the world a month ago. So, he's still capable. I mean, he's a great coach. He's just a good coach. And I think it's pretty ridiculous to question, in year one, after half a season pretty much last year and getting to 30 wins and sitting on 29 right now. Yeah, I think that's kind of laughable. And I know on on Hir.Or.Die, we commented to somebody's comment about should his job be in question, and our comment was, well, what about other programs in the area that, I mean, Coach Carricker's got 2 years at City, and I think they've been bounced out in the first round 2 years in a row by lower seeded teams. I haven't really paid much attention to FPU, but I don't know if they've won anything of importance in a decade, really. And I know their roster's pretty large. So I think if you're going to question one, why not question all the coaches in this area? If your standard's so high for Fresno State, who I don't know why your standard's not as high for our JUCOs and our other schools. They're local schools, then they don't compete against each other. So I would think when Fresno City does well, people are happy, or when FPU does well, people are happy, and when the Dogs do well, people are happy. If you're going to question one, question them all. So I don't like that. And the other thing that I'll say is a lot of complaining about the 4-17 and all that, and as if the players don't already know, and the coaches don't know, and you like to think they don't know or are not happy about it is. Like, turn your brain on. Like, if anybody's more mad about it, they're a hell of a lot more madder than people tweeting. I'll tell you that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think they want to, they accept it? No. It's not like they're out there trying to lose games. You think they wanted to fumble away whatever lead they had in the Mountain West, 8 games? Like, it's just, people just need to be quiet. I get you're upset that they hadn't finished well, but there's teams that aren't playing this weekend, right? We could be one of those. Really,
yeah,
our season could be done.
You're absolutely right. And I mean, from obviously the fans' perspective, the morale on the team has still seemed pretty high. I mean, the guys are showing up and competing, at the yard every day. And so, yes, a lot of really bad breaks and tough performances and pitching outings. So, but it does seem like they are trying. It's not like they're not bought in.
No, and they're not gonna sit here and tell you they haven't played. That they have played well. They haven't. They'll be the first to admit it. They haven't played well. That's obvious, right? 4-17 means some bad baseball is being played. They know that. They don't need the fan base to tell them that. They don't need the fan base to say how disappointed they are, how crazy it is, or unfathomable. I can't even speak right now. They don't. They know. They know. Like I said, everybody. So this weekend, everybody's got the same record now. Records don't matter anymore.
So what am I supposed to say then, Jake? Because it wasn't good.
You're either with the Dogs or you're not. That's all you need to say. You're either with them or you're not. And if you're not, don't come back. When they win, don't come back. If they win this weekend, I'm going to go screenshot everybody's tweets from this last week, and I'm going to send them all back to you if they win. Don't talk about the Dogs. I don't want to see those fair weathers. You're out. You're out. You're either in or you're out. And for most of them, to me, After what I read, some of you are out.
Don't you think it's okay though to point out what needs to happen for them to take the next step?
But see, I didn't see that, Caleb. I saw a lot of criticizing with zero solutions. Nobody had an answer for any questions they had. You want to criticize the coaches? What do we do? Go hire another coach? I'm sorry, but there's assistants in college all up the state of California where I just know. I just talked to one 2 weeks ago that makes more than double what Ovi makes as an assistant. And when I asked when Fresno State opened, he's like, no shot. Why would I leave? Why would I leave where I'm at, where I make more than I'm losing half of what I make now? What sense does that make? So what do you think Ovi's assistants get paid? Right? So we've got a pretty darn good staff considering they could have been, I mean, they could be other coaches, other schools and make more money. I don't know. Like people just think it's so easy everybody wants to come to Fresno. It just baffles me. Who are they going to get?
You're gonna have to sign
I definitely do not have an answer to that because it seems like Overland was the perfect fit for this position because of one, affordable. No offense to him, but he's not in this to get rich. He's in it because sorry, my mic went out.
We got you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So I was saying he's the perfect fit because the Fresno State can afford him. He loves the area. He wants to be here, and he's an excellent coach who loves the game of baseball, and is obviously better than I do because I didn't play. But from the smart baseball people that I've talked to, that's what they're all saying. Like, look, this is the guy who's getting this program. So.
Well, and I mean, I just think just give him more than a year. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what resources has he gotten this season? Do you think he's gotten everything he needs? Like, I know people are going to bring up the field upgrades. Well, the wall padding was an NCAA rule this year. Every school had to have padding on their outfield fence. So they didn't have a choice. Same with the dugout rails. While they look good and it's great to have some upgrades, it wasn't just because we wanted to upgrade our facility. They were NCAA initiated rules. And as far as the turf goes, that turf's got to get replaced now already. So I'm just other than that, what have you seen different at Bulldog at Bennett Field, Biden and Bennett? It looks the same,
nothing.
right?
And I mean, when Bates was on the broadcast a couple weeks ago, he even made a comment that Ovi has the same couch in the office that he had when he was there for 20 years. So he can't even get a new couch for his office.
No, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. I think some people most of the people that I get to talk to have been in that game, so they know a lot more about it than I do. And that's where I get, some of the info that I have from people that coach at that level or have been at Fresno State. It's not just stuff. I mean, it's not me. I'm not smart enough. So yeah, give the guy more than a year. Give him more than 2. I mean, I don't know what happened to this 1 year and you're not good. And it's crazy to me.
You think the transfer portal is hurting that?
Well, they benefited from it this year a little bit. I mean, they got some local guys back. And the hot start too. Like honestly, offense usually gets going a little sooner and or later. I mean, so pitchers were probably a little ahead of the hitters at the start of the season. That flips. Playing in elevation, going to New Mexico is not an easy place to play. As is Air Force. Granted, the Dogs did only score 1 on Saturday, but Friday they put up, was it 11, 13? What was it? Final?
13 to 14 was final.
Should be able to win games when you score 13 runs.
Yep.
I'm just going to spitball there. So, and that's happened quite a few times. I think they played a lot of road games like during the week, their Tuesday games. They were on the road quite a bit. So they've been tested and challenged and they haven't executed. They haven't played well as of late. But again, just to see all the tweets about it as if they don't know or if they don't care, or I just kind of like, I don't know, some people just kind of need to turn their brains on, I think, a little bit. Relax.
I think there's a number. They see a number, right? Because there's a lot of football fans. Let's put it this way: there's a lot of Fresno State football fans that tune in towards the end of seasons. Right? How's the basketball team doing? How's the baseball team doing? And then they see this number. Oh, 4-17. What is Ovi doing? What in the world? And then they, then there's a reaction to that.
Yeah, that's true. And listen, everybody has the right to say what they want to say about whatever is going on. The criticisms or the calling to question Ovi's job, that stuff is, well, then what's your alternative? Don't just say put him on the chopping block. What do you do instead? Or instead of Ovi, who? Or what would you like to see? Don't just ask for a guy's job to be in question without any solution. That's just, I don't have time for that. You're just a hater. You just want to bitch about something. That's all you're trying to do. You're complaining. You're crying. None of us like it. Doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. I would love to see the Dogs make a run this weekend. I pray to God just to shut some of them up, just so I can tell them you can't be Dogs fans anymore. I'm gonna take their Dogs card.
Hey, dogs or die. Dogs or die. Bob's in here. He says, I don't think Ovi is to blame for what happened. I think we're all on that same page. Execution.
Bob's the man.
He knows. We know the execution needs to be there.
And I'm dead serious though. Like I get it, and I've been critical in the past of certain things, even football. Like I don't know much about football. I don't know really anything about basketball, and I'm not saying I know anything about baseball, but yeah, I mean everybody has the right to vent their frustration. But just like when you're posting stuff, like a lot of people are going to see that, and be careful with what you say. That's all. Like this team, especially when they're at their lowest points towards this last couple weeks, like, they like I said, they get it. They know, they understand that they're not trying to lose. They don't want to be 4-17 in the last 21.
All right. Now let me ask you this real quick. We're going to change the conversation a little bit here. Caleb, I missed yours because my internet went out. The question I asked about Air Force this upcoming series, or I should say game. But Jake, I want to hear from you. We got Air Force coming up. What does the team need to do to win this game?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, if I'm thinking about, like, was it Saturday? They got 10-run rule. So Friday we scored first, right? We put up 4 in the first. By the second, it was 4-4. Okay, so when we score first, like obviously, and they know these guys, this is like their mantra, right? It's you go put up a 0. That's the thing, right? They battled back when they lost the lead. We need to pitch. We got to pitch.
Who you starting?
Guys need to exit. I've seen a lot of guys, especially Friday. I can't tell you how many 2-strike counts I saw get away from our pitchers, whether it was 1-2 or 0-2, and it's just like we got to execute better with 2 strikes.
Who are you starting?
I mean, whoever gives me the best option. Who's my best guy? Who's been my go-to? I mean, I know Anchor's like just kind of getting back. I know he probably wasn't too thrilled with his outing Friday afternoon. But I would have confidence in whoever Ovi puts out there. Again, he knows best. And I will say this, talking to some of the people in that clubhouse, they're not down. They're behind. They love Ovi. Like, I think you may have mentioned it, Caleb. Like, they're still playing hard. They're still bought in. Like, none of that's changed by it, just so people know. Like, they're ready to go. It's almost like a new season this weekend. Like, it's a fresh start almost. And all it takes is one at bat, 1-2 good innings, 1 good game. Who knows? But some guys need to step up, pure and simple. If your number's called and it's your time to take the mound, it's that you need to bow your neck, get the job done.
I agree. I mean, I think we need to get some production from the bottom of the order. I mean, we got McKernan hitting 9th. I mean, 195. Blanford's like 225. I mean, Murph has struggled. I mean, it seems like he's I will say he had a really clutch double on Friday that tied the game, so that was huge. But I mean, it just seems like he's not the same guy as last year, or the conference has just caught up to him, and they know, hey, just give him sliders, and he is going to struggle with it. Obviously, that's my non-baseball brain
that's
diagnosing
actually
it.
that is a good point. And if guys aren't getting on in front of you, it's easy to attack a guy like Murph. And if guys aren't getting on behind him and they're struggling behind, it's easier to attack Murph or Pepe or whoever it is. I think part of it is that he's a sophomore and they've seen him now a number of at bats. And again, they have all that information. They have Pepe and Saldivar's at bats from Long Beach. They have all those. Every team has that data. Everybody. It's not just what they've done at State. They have the last 2 years at Long Beach on those guys. So part of it is, getting caught up to a little bit, but also playing not to lose anymore, playing not to screw up, pitching not to walk guys or pitching they're playing not to lose instead of just playing the game. And
Play to win.
You gotta what's that?
Play to win.
Yeah, just play. Forget playing to win. That's what you're trying to do every time. It's the little things though. Like, don't be up there thinking I have to make this pitch. Just take a deep breath and do what you've done a million times. Like, if we're focusing on the what if outcome, then, and these guys have struggled as much as they have in their brain, that's probably what they're thinking about. Great, here we go again. And it's hard to win games that way.
Mm-hmm. Bob adds, we need to score more with runners in scoring position. I've thought about this. Jake, tell me if I'm crazy. And Bob, you too. Caleb, you as well. Eddie and Rocco have been killing it all year.
Yeah, they've been pretty hot.
They've been hitting 1 and 2. Do you move them to 3 and 4 to maybe get other guys on base so that we can knock those guys in? Because we're stranding those guys in particular on base. I don't know. You talk to me with your baseball minds.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know what Ovi's, how he feels his offense or identity is. Again, 25-9, we're not questioning anything, right?
True.
So we know what they're capable of, I think, as a team and as an offense. We just haven't been doing it. It's that simple. And I don't think we should continue to reflect on what we haven't done the last 3 weeks because the team's not, and they can't. They can't afford to. And as fans, I don't think we want them dwelling on the 4-17. I don't. I want them thinking about Air Force Thursday or Friday, whenever they start. That's what I want their mindset to be on. What's done is done. We can't go fix it. We can talk about it and complain about it all we want. It does us no good. It does the program no good. It does the players no good.
Yep. And now school's out, so they're just ball players now. They don't have to worry about finals and homework or anything. They can just go and play ball.
They'll be in an environment they've been in. They've been in San Diego. Like, they've, some of these guys played on this team last year and went through some of that tournament stuff and kind of know what it's about. And, maybe today's off day and they travel tomorrow. Like I said, everybody's at 0 right now. So it's baseball. Caleb, I did hear you say like something before I came on, because I could hear you guys, about teams we should beat. And I don't like, I think maybe we are capable of beating most of those teams, but there's no team we should beat. It's baseball, and it's D1 baseball at that. I think that's unfair to other programs when we talk like that, because we're, the last month and a half kind of shows that. You got to go play the games. You got to go get the outs. I've said it before. You're not entitled to winning. Just because you were 25-9, that obviously can change very quickly. And, I think that teams we should have beat, that's why you got to go compete. And maybe we kind of lost sight of that. I don't know. I don't know what's gone on this stretch. I don't know who's been hurt. It's a long season. Who's hanging? What arms are hanging? Whose bodies are beat up? Like, these guys are probably grinding through it right now. We don't really know. I know that we still have an opportunity to keep playing, and other schools don't. And there's nothing we can do about the last month. So just root these guys on. They need the red wave. Like I said, your dogs or die. We're either in or we're out. I mean, I love this team whether they win or lose. People that are Giants fans are not going to not be Giants fans anymore because they're struggling. Like, that's just not how it works.
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm not a Giants fan. I'm just using them as an example. Sorry.
It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time, Jake.
Are you a Giants fan?
Yeah.
What's been a long? What are you talking about? It's been a long. You've won 3 in what, 6 years? Get out of here. Long time.
I'm spoiled, man. Spoiled. They are the only team outside of Fresno State Mountain West championships that I have seen win a championship. But my Raiders stunk. Well, Rich Gannon and was at 02. That was it. And
I mean, you were little. You were like 4 or 5 then? 2?
I was 7.
Really? All right. I don't know. I had a different energy earlier regarding some of this dog stuff.
That's why I called you before.
And Caleb told me, Caleb Nail, not Pletz. Caleb Nail told me to do it with love. I don't know how much I've brought enough love, but I like Ovi. Maybe I'm biased and it's personal for me, and maybe that's not fair for me to speak on or whatever. But I like Ovi. I like this team. I like the players. I love Fresno State baseball. I always have. But I also believe that. Like, I think if you're in, good or bad, and that's what fans are.
I 100% agree. I think you did a great job, Jake. I mean, the listeners know.
I'm not saying people shouldn't be frustrated with the performance. What I'm saying is they know. They don't need to see the thousands of tweets from everybody that is supposed to back them, letting them know that. Some of the people that I've seen are baseball people, and it kind of surprises me. Like, you know better. Some of them know better than that, and that bothers me.
Jake, so I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. We went through basketball, so.
Oh, that turned out to be a solid deal, didn't it?
Yeah,
we lost, and then we lose our coach, and then now we have to pay him on top of losing him.
Yeah, I don't know if we covered that here. We kind of just like moved on. We're trying to get away from that.
So again, I'm not a basketball guy, and I'm sure you've already brought this up, but didn't you say you played for Wahlberg for a minute? Did you bring that up on your show?
I don't know if I have.
I don't think you've told the story on air yet. I think Nail said he wanted to save it if we get a chance to talk to Coach Wahlberg.
Well, certainly if it's negative, Caleb Nail, don't bring it up until after you talk to him.
No, okay? I'm gonna bring it up during. It's not it's funny. Like, I think looking back on it, everyone will enjoy it. It's gonna make me look like a terrible basketball player. I mean, that's what I am. But basically, Wahlberg ripped me a new one, and we got to talk about it with Wahlberg.
Yeah,
and that's what we're gonna do.
Well, I'll be tuning in for it then.
Jake, are the Dogs or Die T-shirts still available for people to buy?
If they are in?
Oh, shoot.
Okay. It's funny is I posted it for like a week, and I got hit up by a few people. Dude, here's the part: is the shipping on it was third party, and I have no control over it. But like for one hoodie was like $12 to ship. So what I think I'm gonna do is just before football's in August. I think July. That'll give me enough time to get some orders in, and people can get them before the football season starts. And maybe we do like a Hit or Die Beware of Bulldogs live show somewhere, and then people can come get them, and we don't have to worry about $12 shipping because that's stupid. I apologize. I hated it. Like, for those that did buy them, thank you. But yeah, I got a lot of people that want them. So maybe we'll do that. And then and then I can work on bringing even the price down a little bit too, because I know a lot of people liked it and wanted it, which is cool. I love that. So maybe we can do something in like July. Be ready for that. We'll do something together.
Where can people follow you and find all this stuff?
We're on Twitter at Hir.Die Podcast. We're on Instagram, same thing, Hir.Die Podcast, and YouTube also. My daughter just came in. Thanks, babe. Yeah. So yeah, YouTube. We're on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, all the platforms for podcasts.
Yeah, check out Jake. He does a great job. He's a baseball guy. So if you're into baseball, he's talking about it. He's not vanilla. As you can tell. So
well, I mean, I hope I wasn't. I don't know. People may totally disagree with me, and that's okay. I guess that's the good thing is like I don't care. I welcome that. I think everybody has the right to think what they want to think. I just, I want us to back our team. I get it. I get being frustrated, like I said, but at the end of the day, we are where we are right now, and we have a chance to go win this thing, and that's what we should be focused on now.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
I agree.
Thanks,
Love
Jake.
you guys. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
All right. Well, thank you to our friend Jake Saldate for joining us and talking some baseball. I'm sure that's certainly longer than Nail and I could have talked baseball, so we appreciate that. So let's do a quick little mailbag here. So, Nail, you got anything in the big old bag of mail?
Yes, big, huge bag of mail. Any word on basketball recruits? I do have one word, and that is nothing has happened yet. We were in the final 8 of a 4-star recruit that was in the transfer portal, and he committed actually right before we went live to Texas Tech. He did not choose Fresno State. I believe his last name was Anderson. Doesn't matter. He's not here. So that was kind of I was on the edge of my seat before we went live here. He didn't come. So no word on current basketball recruits. We do know that we still have a lot of positions to fill, and the coaches are still recruiting. I do have one more question, Caleb, over here, but I want to save this for last. Why don't you go and hit us with some questions that you found?
All right, we're talking football because we can't go an episode without talking football. So, which conference matchup for this upcoming season are you most concerned about? So, for everyone that doesn't have the schedule pulled up, let me tell you who we have in conference. Because with Mountain West, I mean, we don't get to play every team every year. So, let's see. We go at New Mexico, at UNLV. Home against Washington State. I'm going to count that as a conference game because I guess it is technically. At Nevada, home against San Jose State, home against Hawaii, at Air Force, home against Colorado State. So what are you most concerned about?
Home against Colorado State. I think it's somewhat of a favorable schedule, to be honest. But we haven't seen Colorado State in a while. We know they have an explosive offense. They did lose a couple guys, but towards the end of the season, teams are playing for something around there. It is at home, which I like, but I'm gonna go with that one. Home against Colorado State. What about you?
Right now, at Air Force in November, the team could be pretty banged up. It could be snowy, and just maybe that's just reason. Against the option, and maybe that's just recent Air Force bias of them just spanking us for 3 games of baseball that I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to play Air Force. So maybe that's playing into it, but I do think that all of those together is going to make it a tough matchup for Fresno State. And I mean, Air Force, they just put a tough team together. I mean, even on their down years, I mean, defending the option is tough, and so yeah, I'm concerned about that one.
I will add to the Air Force game, Caleb, this will make you feel a little bit better. They return the least amount of production in the entire country.
Oh, perfect. All right, good.
So take that as you will. But Bulldogs Bob, he adds his game in the conference that scares him the most is at UNLV after the New Mexico game. Hard to argue that. We struggle with UNLV all the time. It seems like, no matter how good they are. And I see Sam's in here. If you know, you know. Sam.
I think it'll go back to football and UNLV. I think it'll be interesting to see the team that UNLV puts out there because they had some portal losses. I think one of their defensive backs just transferred, I want to say, to Michigan. maybe I'm misremembering that, but I know that he transferred to P4. The quarterback transferred to USC, I think, and I think the wide receiver transferred out too. So they're going to have some important pieces to replace. So, but that's why we love Mountain West football, because it's a fun conference to play in.
Mm-hmm. Do you have another question?
I am all out, so you can bring us home.
Who has the best tri-tip in town? I think, Caleb, I was thinking about this, and if you're a regular listener, we don't have any sponsors on here right now, so none of these are sponsors, but I think we need to enter the transfer portal. Our commitment is up in the air for the best tri-tip in the Valley. Comment down below, best tri-tip in town. I don't know, Caleb. We could just ramble off some tri-tips we like.
Are we talking sandwich or just the tri-tip itself?
Let's stick to sandwich. Tri-tip sandwich.
Okay. Well, I mean, kind of feels like this answer right now is like how people are feeling about Coach Overland and the baseball staff right now. Like I have a hard time going against Doghouse just because, one, it's the dogs and it's just different. I am a fan of their barbecue sauce. So maybe I'm more picking the Doghouse barbecue sauce than the actual tri-tip on the sandwich, but I'm gonna go there. Go a little chalk, I guess, but then people also are kind of haters on Doghouse.
It's hard to go against Doghouse. I will say biting through Doghouse tri-tip is easy. Like when I cook tri-tip, I got a tear. I work in Kingsburg, so Roadhouse is over there, a newer restaurant. They have a good tri-tip. There's a place on Cedar and Herndon. It's a little shack. They have pretty good tri-tip. I don't remember what it's called. Mike's Grill. Mm-hmm. And then Bulldog Bob adds the meat market.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's been a long time since I've had a tri-tip sandwich from the meat market. But so I'm in the transfer portal right now. If any of these places want to send me a tri-tip or, coerce me to commit there, send me an NIL package, I'm more than happy to accept that. Gilbert's adding some things in here. I've never heard of these. Tower District. Ben Smoking in Tower District.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to have to check that out. We did get one more. I was keep commenting tri-tip places, by the way, because I'm going to go try all these places. We did get a question, one more as we were talking, Caleb. Are you guys going to Michigan and or UCLA? If so, will you do a show from there?
Oh boy. Michigan seems unlikely, just with having a new baby. I mean, he'll be like 5 months old by then, but probably not. UCLA, I want to. I mean, I've been to every Fresno State UCLA matchup since the bowl game in was it 2003, I think. So I do feel like I help the dogs when I'm there.
You're undefeated.
UCLA. Exactly. Yeah. So I would really like to make that happen. And it's a long weekend too, Thanksgiving weekend. So I think that one is most likely to happen. And yeah, I think we'd be interested in doing some sort of live show if we can maybe put something together. Who knows? There's a lot that can happen, and that game's 6 months away. So there's a lot of time to plan that.
Yeah, I will not be making the Michigan game, and I mean, this is great news. But in November, nail number 2 will be born. So I don't have I said it on here. I don't know. Yeah, we're expecting number 2, and November is the due date. So I don't think the UCLA game is going to happen for me, Caleb. As much as I want it to. We're getting Gilbert is the tri-tip guy. Smoking Wood in the Brewery District, Mega Texas Barbecue, Bulldogs Bob's do a live show on the golf course. I'm scared to do that, but I'm down.
No, I think you see because parking and tailgating for UCLA is like on the public golf
See,
course.
I don't even know. I've never
Yeah.
even. Okay, I've been to the Rose Bowl, but I've never I've attended the Rose Bowl game itself. I didn't even know.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm in. Ma and Pa barbecue. I have had Ma and Pa.
They catered my wedding, so yes, I can confirm it is good.
Good choice, Gil. I was a bad friend though that day. We don't talk about that. And I see Jake. Thanks for coming on again. Yeah, comment down below. Tri-tip places. Best tri-tip in town. Tri-tip sandwich. That was part of the mailbag. I saw Bulldogs Bob said, "Is this going to be a weekly thing for a mailbag?" I think we should. I think this would be a good way to do it. And I like the tri-tip question. We got a football question in, so we're covering everything. And we got a basketball question, Caleb. So it's perfect. I think we will keep the mailbag. All right, Caleb, I know you got a baby to take care of and a wife that I'm sure wants you to help out. I know my wife is waiting for me as well. So we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for listening and all your support. We really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Every week we come on here, we can't believe that you guys actually put up with us and like to talk Fresno State as much as we do. So thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless you guys. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.